That's an important issue that you bring up when you talk about images. For many years, I was in New York City working in network news, and I remember having constant battles with my executive producers and senior staff saying, I'm tired of seeing images of black men as pickpockets when we know when there was statistical data that showed that the incidents of pickpockets were usually perpetrated by someone who was not African American. And I got a lot of eye rolling and a lot of frustration, but there were a lot of stories that as a producer, I prevented from airing, or I weighed in on the angle or the direction of it, saying that this is not accurate and you're playing into fear. Talk about, you have a new campaign now, and it's one that does exactly that, plays into stereotypes and fears. What was the genesis for starting this campaign, and what do you hope to accomplish, Rashad?
Well, we've launched this culture project, at represent.colorofchange.org, and we've, with a real decision that we were going to take on images coming out of Hollywood. And as we started to do our planning, and we started looking at reality television as this place that was, creating so many problems. I use reality in quotations. It's such a huge problem. We looked back, and one of the first reality television programs is still on the air, and it's called C.O.P.S. And listeners probably know the iconic sort of opening song, Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do? Right. 25 years, C.O.P.S. has been on the air. It actually was greenlit by Rupert Murdoch during the writer's strike about 25 years ago as a sort of low budget replacement because they didn't have any scripted programs. They bought that opening song for a couple of $1,000s, and who would have known that 25 years later this show would still be on the air, portraying sort of this hero law enforcement figure going into black, brown, and poor communities and sort of giving viewers sort of this dehumanizing look at the failed war on drugs and sort of failed policing practices. We never actually get to know who the backstory behind the people who are being arrested or sort of being dealt with by the criminal justice system. We never see stories in which police officers act in ways that they shouldn't, which we know happens. From our perspective, as we continue to advocate on a wide range of issues, we know at Color of Change that if cops really wanted to have a television show where they dealt with crime that really impacted all of us and really impacted the way that we live, they wouldn't be going after sort of low-level drug offenders and dealing with these sort of dehumanizing depictions of the war on drugs. They'd be going and having a cops episode on Wall Street or Capitol Hill, places where the crimes that are happening there, where millions of people's homes can be foreclosed on, and sort of the housing crisis could be created, and other issues that we've seen where those type of crimes actually have real impact on the way that we live.